support or oppose the industrial development of Sears Island? And would you support or oppose the installation of an LNG terminal on the coast of Maine?
I oppose the industrialization of Sears Island, and I oppose the, if you're talking about on Passamaquoddy Bay, I oppose LNG facility on Passamaquoddy Bay. I believe that the only two remaining proposed facilities are both on Passamaquoddy Bay. I think it's a, I think industrial facilities belong in industrial zones. Yes?
You say you're really opposed to all these big businesses coming to Maine, but being a person that's almost done college, where's someone like me going to get a job in Maine if there's no businesses or corporations for me to work at? You say you want the small businesses to expand, but how is a small business going to be able to afford to hire a whole new young workforce?
Well, I think that I'm not opposed to businesses coming in. If they're larger businesses, you know, I lived in the Mid-Coast for a number of years. MBNA came into the Mid-Coast, and I have to admit, they're a clean business. You know, their credit cards. They're a clean business. They're buildings that they built, they worked with the community, they were attractive, they paid well, they had health insurance, retirement, the whole shebang. And then they left 5 years later. And I mean, it was a good 5 years for the community. And I'm not saying we don't invite people in, but there's a difference between inviting a credit card company in to have clean jobs, numerous jobs. They have 4 facilities in the state with benefits versus inviting an industrial facility. You're not going to work at a wind farm. You're not going to work at a wind farm. You know, so the alternative is there. I think we need to look at the quality of jobs that are going to be provided, and the number of jobs that are going to be provided, and the potential longevity of the business staying in the, you know, we opened up Red Shield up in northern Maine to a biomass boiler, helped them retool, gave them tax breaks and money, and 9 months later they closed down. So I'm not saying we don't try to attract these businesses, but I think we need to be, I think we need to look at what, not just what we're willing to give the businesses, but what they're going to produce for the state. Yes, sir.
He doesn't want these pesky state legislators. I'm reading this down here, and I'm just focusing on 2 or 3 of the issues, which is guaranteeing Mainers all access to high-quality education, develop a statewide freight passenger system, and a universal health care system for the state of Maine. How do you intend to pay for it?
Well, I'll take them one at a time. I think that we need to seriously look at alternative transportation in the state. We have rail lines, granted they're in disrepair, but we have significant amounts of rail lines and that are available, and rail easements that are available. Much of our transportation infrastructure is federal money. People complain that, oh, Amtrak, for example, Amtrak always wants to be subsidized. And they want all this subsidy money. And what people need to realize is the extent to which we subsidize our highways and our airports in particular, and our roads and our highways and our airports. Where there seems to be the will in the state to expand, and this doesn't happen overnight, but there's the will at this point to expand passenger rail to Brunswick, possibly to Augusta, and to seriously look at, there was recently a fight in northern Maine over abandoning a rail easement, because there are a lot of business people who would much rather use freight to ship things than trucking. Part of that is the cost of fuel, and so I think there's will out there to expand the rail system in the state. So that's one thing. The other 2 things were Healthcare, you know, I agree with some of the things Peter was saying about that. I think we need to, you know, I've given up on the feds in terms of healthcare. I agree that the states are the laboratories for innovation, and it's costing businesses, it's costing two groups a lot because of the cost of healthcare in the state and the cost of health insurance in the state, which I view as two different things. It's costing businesses a lot, those businesses that provide healthcare, and it's costing Maine Care a lot, because we have so many businesses who do not either provide healthcare because of the cost, or keep their employees under 30 hours a week or something, so they are not, you know, they have minimal, maybe the higher level employees get health insurance, but others they keep as part-timers. They end up, if they're making minimum wage or a little over minimum wage, they're on Maine Care. And so we're paying for them one way or the other. So I think we need to look seriously about the healthcare burden on our good businesses that do provide health insurance, and also look, because we're paying for people's healthcare one way or the other. And I think it's much more functional and in many ways much more dignified for people to have health insurance and health coverage, either as a small business person. I don't have health insurance. I do not have health coverage, because as a small business person, I can't afford it. And I know there are many, many people in my position, and it would be nice to have the opportunity to purchase that. I forget what your third point was. Okay. Yes, sir.
So my question is, considering the amount of time that you've lived in the state of Maine and the short list of elected offices that you've held since you've been here, what experiences in your background can you point towards to show that you're qualified to be the next governor?
Well, I am thinking, as I go around the state, and a few people have said this, there is a lot of anger out there, and I think many people in the state are not looking for an insider or an experienced person. I think people are looking at looking for new ideas and new thoughts. You know, I'm a successful attorney in the state. I mean, I feel successful. I'm not saying I make a lot of money at it, but I am a small business person, and I represent community groups in rural Maine who are having issues mainly with land use coming into their towns. And so I talk to these people. These people are not, many of these folks are conservative. Many of them are, you know, I'm probably the first not conservative person they've ever met. And I don't have horns. And I'm helping them, and because I believe in local control, and I believe that there are two areas in particular in Maine that local control should be inviolate. One is education, and the other is land use planning. I'm on the planning board in Bar Harbor, and land use has always been in the purview of local boards and commissions. And there's periodically sort of a thrust in Augusta to centralize it. And I've always fought against that. And so I stand side by side with these folks. I think it's more important to have ideas about changing things, and to be able to recognize and willing to hire people who can effect that change, than to be part of, than to have a history with a system that people are pissed off at currently.